What's with my? Why do I look like that? What the hell?
I can't see. I just
Try.
see bullshit and bourbon starting
Hear
soon.
you.
There we go.
We'll just go live. Everybody can hear you whenever we're live if they can. But can you guys see me now?
See
Yeah,
you
I can
now,
see you
sir.
now, but can you see me now?
I can see you now.
All right.
I can
perfect.
see Jeff, I can see Taylor, and I can see me. So this time Gary is at a gay wedding.
Well, that's good.
Yes. Yeah, we're very we're very open minded and accepting here at Bullshit and Bourbon. So yeah. Now welcome to Bullshit and Bourbon. As you know, this is Taylor in the top right, Jeff in the bottom right, and then myself, Mike. And this episode, we're just going to do a free form. What we're wanting to talk about is the elections coming up this week, and just kind of bounce around. Obviously the two major people that are running for president, Harris and Trump, but talk about their platforms and talk about what they stand for. Try to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously, I lean right, right of center. I'm not extreme right, but I definitely lean right. But I want to try to be as even keeled as possible and just have an open, candid discussion about the two candidates and just what they stand for and what they hope to accomplish. Taylor, what have you been up to this week?
This week, man, I don't think I've done anything other than work this week. Jeff and I have had a crazy work week.
What have you guys been up to? I know you guys do a lot of stuff that has to do with like investing and estate planning and stuff, but what exactly is it that you guys do in your collaboration?
Well, Taylor.
We try to we try to, well, everybody's unique, so we get people in and we sit them down, and then we basically have to go through and try to solve their, because most people are coming to see us because they want to retire. They want to retire, and then they want to leave something to their families, and so it's going through that mess with people. So like we deal a lot with people's Social Security, setting that up. We help just with simple things of like, long-term care problems. Like, hey, my husband, and he needs to go to a facility. I can't afford it. How can I get assistance helping out with that? It's weird because while we do have some common themes that come up, we get a wide range of crazy problems when people come in. And so the problem is like,
I mean, we've had days where one meeting is someone that just needs someone to tell them, just needs someone to sort of confirm their own suspicions, and they don't have anything. And then an hour later, you're meeting with.
So are these like one-on-one meetings?
Right.
Or are they more like classroom type environments?
Jeff's talking right now and no one can hear him.
I know.
Folks, oh, you couldn't hear me?
Now
we can now.
It's because I hung up on the spam caller. So what I was trying to say is what I'm really proud of working with Taylor is that we have a very broad practice that is not, Taylor certainly could be with his experience. I could be with my experience, very elitist or very, you have to have a minimum of X to talk to us. But there's plenty of people out there that do it like that. And what
Taylor
I like about
talks to me, and I'm definitely not balling. So,
well, there you go. But we provide educational seminars, and there's things that we do, and so I mean, we've had days where from the 9 o'clock in the morning is a widow that, because of poor planning, perhaps by, in this case, the husband, but has nothing, and she's just trying to figure out how to survive and needs someone to just kind of hold her hand and help make the best of the very, very limited options she has. And then on the flip side of that, we have, the next hour you're meeting with somebody that owns 2 or 3 companies and is worth, $25 million, and it's a whole different palette of problems. And it's very intellectually, it's very interesting, and it's very satisfying. And I would say, on the one hand, the very successful people, at least on paper, um, there's a lot of cool things that Taylor I can put in place and do and leverage in such a way that, you can make generational wealth happen, and you can impact generations from a legacy perspective. But on the other hand, some of my best meetings, some of his best meetings, are with folks that end up being pro bono, right? And but they needed somebody that would tell them the truth, and they didn't have anybody. And you go down a Google rabbit hole forever if you try to do it on your own. So I don't know. We kind of take all kinds, and it's been a good ride so far.
There you are.
Oh,
We lost you, Michael. We were going. You went through your Starlink delay there again.
Yes,
there you
yes,
go.
my usual.
That's what you get for being able to see the night sky. Your fault.
Well, I'm trying to do better with getting in the chats, because we got people on X. We got over on X right now. We got A West. Thanks for joining us, A West. And in the YouTube chat, we got Nicole Ministator. We got Crypto Breezy. We got K-Jam and a couple other people. And looks like Taylor, Crypto Breezy says that Kill Tony posted the Vegas episode.
Yeah, they did. I was shocked that they put it out there. The part where he makes fun of the lady that had the miscarriage. I mean, it was brutal.
That's rough.
I was like, woof. But Kill Tony. I mean, that's what he does. I mean, you just saw what he did at Trump's rally and got everybody.
Yeah, no,
riled up.
it's like he said something about Puerto Rico being like a floating island of garbage, and like everybody's up in arms, and it's like, have you seen this guy? Like at the roast at Kill Tony, he is like he goes full throttle on how offensive can I be.
Exactly.
I saw Jon Stewart make he kind of did the same thing. I mean, you would think, obviously Jon Stewart leads left, so you think he might take advantage of it. He's like, he's a roast comedian. What did you expect?
Yeah.
His position was, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He only said Rico was a floating island of garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
You got off lucky.
Yeah. Just go watch the Kill Tony in Vegas episode, and you'll see how bad it can get. It can get pretty bad.
Absolutely.
And this is bugging me. I can't see. How do you see that? I can't see any of the chat stuff. Oh, there it is. I see. I made the mistake of upgrading my phone software, and everything's different now. Kind of pissing me off.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. We'll tell you if there's anything.
Yeah. So yeah. What is it? Tuesday is election day, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's hope so. It'd be nice to know this time.
Yeah.
That's actually a good place to start. Other than the fact everybody knows that, Harris and Trump are the ones running, for president, obviously. There's been a lot of really weird, hinky stuff going on, with like the Democrats fighting to keep RFK on the ballot. Just I don't know, like really weird things, kind of like these weird chess games that they always play, but it seems like there's just like more and more weirdness going on. I saw that the Trump campaign filed a lawsuit, and Taylor, you might know more about this. I think it was down in Georgia or North Carolina, to have like a bunch of voters removed that I guess were duplicates or something like that. Did you see that?
Yeah, I've seen all the like little things that they file, but like these are just normal. Like these happen every election. Like the hard part that I have, like people are like, "Oh, this last election was stolen." It was like this goes on every election. Like, I mean, there was when Kennedy won, there was a courthouse in Texas that had all the votes, and it was his opponent. It was a county that was heavily his opponent's that burned down. They had all the votes in them. And you're like, that just like randomly happened. Like these
Well,
elections get dirty every time. Like there is election fraud
Yeah.
every election since the
Yes.
founding of this nation. And so, yeah,
so
They
I
don't
don't.
want to fix it because they could
I
fix it. I
yes.
they
mean,
could. We
I mean,
should.
what
We
is it?
should have voter ID
Dancing
laws
with the
across this.
Stars and
Across.
American Idol. Like they can like in the time it takes for them to have a commercial, they can tally the votes.
Well, I mean, we have accounting practices. We know exactly how to account something to the dollar. We could if we wanted to, but they don't want. I mean, the politicians don't want it. They want to
No,
be able to
manip-
manipulate it because it keeps the two party system. Look how hard it was for RFK to get on the ballots and stuff, and so the system is designed how it is designed, and like it, everybody's always going to complain and say, "Well, the election is stolen," but you need to understand that both sides have their ways of cheating.
Right. So
So
oh,
I have
absolutely.
two. I have two really.
But honestly, I'll be really honest. The Democrats are much better at it. I'm kind of meaning that as a compliment and a little bit of an offhand compliment. But they are much more tech savvy, and they're much better. I mean, because they have a lot of the younger voters that are volunteering and stuff, so they're a lot more savvy with the social media and how algorithms work and all that kind of stuff. It really took a while for Republicans to catch on to and I think it was Obama that really woke the Republicans up to the need to be really engage in that way because
Are you
because
like, oh my
Obama
gosh, there's a
destroyed
black
the
president? We
Republic.
got to start paying attention.
Yeah, no, it's but I mean Obama just steamrolled the Republicans because I mean just came out of left field with like again social media and just bombarding and I think
Sure.
they all realized that the old way of just going on the news and doing it that debate where it's they it's a pleasure to be here and thank you for your question and all that kind of stuff is really doesn't hold a whole lot of weight anymore.
So I've been doing some research this week on it. We texted offline about this, and I think
Oh
I'm
yeah,
starting to piss
yeah,
some
share
people
that.
off. But I think in one hand, it's what I believe to be reasonable and true here is somewhat comforting from a national perspective, but it's also very disheartening from a state level. So, two things. First of all, I think humans are humans. I am not saying people don't cheat on the right or the left. I do think I do believe though in math and the law of large numbers. If you have 300 million people, you're going to have some, or 330 million people, whatever that could vote. You're going to have some percentage on either side that's willing, both in power and those that support those in power, that's going to be willing to do whatever. But I would argue that that's a pretty small percentage. I mean, I'm not trying to. I don't care enough if I vote to go to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's that impressive to me where I'm going to be cheating for them. So
Well,
I do think that people need to acknowledge that if there's, I mean, there's a guy that was a Republican that was found to in 2020 2022. He was stuffing the ballot boxes and he got put away it was a Democratic county, but it was a Republican judge that put him away. It's like, so, I don't know. I think it's on both sides, but here's what I found interesting. Most of the people I know, and again, I live in Texas, right? We have to show just for those of y'all that
so
aren't here,
heavily blue.
very blue. No, but we have to show our ID, which I'm 100% good with. I think you should,
Yeah,
right? I mean, it's a citizen's right. I want to prove that I'm a citizen, right?
yeah, yeah.
But so you walk in, you got to show. You can't have your phone out. You got to show your ID to one person. They look you up and confirm you're on the voter registration rolls, right? So they got to match your ID's address with that. Then you go to another person who takes the ID from her, the first person, and you got to sign something to get a sticker, and even a third person. Like, so it would be difficult. I mean, to pragmatically cheat, you would have to have a fake ID and a fake registration that was in their system somehow, right? To do that in mass would be very, very, very difficult. But the argument is, especially by my friends, well, yeah, Jeff, but we have voter ID laws, but they don't have voter ID laws in California or whatever, right? Like that stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
which they don't in some places. Like there's 15 states don't have voter ID laws or photo voter ID laws. So then I got this curiosity. So me and ChatGPT sat down for a second, and I was like, okay, what were the 10 closest races by votes, right? 10 narrowest margins of victory in the 2020 election, for the presidential election. And I don't remember the top 10, okay? But 7 of the top 10 had photo ID laws. So 7 of the top 10 swing states, you had to show your photo ID, government issued photo ID to vote, which I feel is I'm not saying that Mission Impossible couldn't do it, but for the average Joe, that's going to stop them from cheating, at least in the sense of, I voted this morning, I'm going to vote this afternoon, I'm going to vote tomorrow, I'm going to vote next week. You know what I mean? Like somebody voting 30 times, right? It stops that. Of the 3 states that did not have photo ID laws, it was Pennsylvania, Nevada, and North Carolina. North Carolina went to Trump, okay? Because the argument, obviously, is that the people are saying is that the election was stolen from Trump. So it went to Trump. You just went black on me or something. I don't know what just happened. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna, as soon as you're done, I'm going to share.
So Pennsylvania,
the crypto
Pennsylvania did not have voter ID laws, or at least not voter ID. They may have like show your election bill or some crap, but people could easily print that off and Adobe Acrobat and change that over and over again. So let's assume, and I think this made me feel comfortable. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that Pennsylvania and Nevada, which was 2 of the 3 states without photo ID, were 100% fraudulent, and they should have gone to Trump. Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes, Nevada's 6. Trump still would have been short 40 electoral votes, or 38 or something like that. So the swing states that everybody gets pissed about actually didn't matter. Now you can make the argument, well, yeah, but what if the illegals voted 500 times a person in California? Sure, but California's been blue as long as I've been of voting age, and they only passed the no voter ID law like in 2018. Does anybody really think that California was going to go to Trump last election or this election? So what I'm getting at is, where there's the voter ID laws, or rather where there is a lack of voter ID laws, is in the bluest states that are going to go blue anyway. Just like if you didn't have voter ID laws in Texas tomorrow,
well,
or Mississippi,
it's
it's
still
still going red.
Like I like to do, though. That being the case keeps them blue. So like say California, everyone is leaving because of high taxes, crime, whatever.
Oh yeah, the conservatives are coming here. They're fleeing.
Exactly. And so, at what point would everybody that can't afford to leave, they just don't have the ability, is like, what, screw this. We gave the Democrats a couple decades. They screwed things up. Let's swing red.
100%. So you're making my next point, which I want to make sure.
ID laws, then all those people that are living off the system and all those benefits that California is giving illegals, buying votes basically. That's the argument.
I 100% agree with you. I'm simply saying that if we flipped it, if Trump had won by a smidgen, a little bit, and it was the same exact math, except it was Trump, not Biden, and the Democrats said it was stolen.
Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate of,
people would. They would sit there and go,
maybe it didn't matter this election.
It didn't matter. But
what about
this is really important. It didn't. But we all know this, even though because it doesn't get the attention, nobody really acts this way.
Yeah.
What's the most important thing as far as affecting your individual life? The order is local, then state, then federal. Right?
I think
so. While I don't think that
that we need to focus on, though, is confidence in our elections. It's not necessarily if it was stolen or voter ID
100%.
laws or whatever.
But really, let me finish my point, because I think this is important. While voter ID laws, or lack thereof, in my opinion, you can make a very, very strong logical argument, did not change. You can make a very, very reasonable deduction that Trump actually, and I'm talking about voting multiple times, people lying about voting. I'm not talking about machines. That's a different argument.
People voting.
But as far as people voting multiple times and all that stuff, that didn't happen at a level that could have changed the election. But what it made me realize on the flip side was exactly your point about California. If you do live in a state that doesn't have voter ID laws, from a state level election, holy crap, that affects everything. because you
everything from
could
local
completely
to
manipulate that
federal
outcome.
to, voting for the sheriff. I mean, everything.
So it's a huge problem, and I think we should have a federal law that says you have
And,
to have an ID.
and
Period.
honestly, with that you said all that, a huge one is I believe it's circuit court judges. Is that the DA? They're you vote on the DA, and so I mean that has a huge effect
Well, you
on
vote on judges too. Well,
yeah
not federal ones, but I don't know. Taylor probably knows, but you vote on certainly your state level judges. I mean,
yeah
which is weird, but
that has a
yeah, no, it's
huge
a
impact
problem
on
for
how the
sure.
state is run, or like gun laws. Like here in the state I'm in, we have terrible gun laws, and it's because it's run by Democrats. It's and so they have the judges, they have and basically, I mean, they're passing like unconstitutional gun laws here, and nobody can do anything about it because it's so blue. It's I'd love living here though, but
I'm curious.
you know,
Do you have to show your ID to vote in your state?
actually no. But
See,
mine hasn't been counted for the past two elections. They do mail-in ballots because there's so many people who live remote. And both times they've said that my signature doesn't match my signature card. And so I've gone in both times, redone the signature card. They've assured me it's going to be counted. I tracked it online, and both times it wasn't counted.
so in order to try to combat against illegal voting or fraudulent voting, real votes are being counted. Awesome.
because of signatures. Something people change all the time.
I change it during the hour.
Yeah. Or you could just use a picture ID and have the whole problem solved. We don't need to worry about signatures. It's such a
I think I'm also here's the other thing you could do, because Taylor, I mean, we do this and sometimes we have to do Zoom, and you can do like under COVID you could do digital notaries and things.
yeah.
Instead of, since we now live in a place where everybody's got iPhones and iPads and Samsungs and everything else, he'll make a voter ID. And if grandpa's in the nursing home and is of capable sound mind to be able to cast a vote, and he can't get there or he doesn't want to make the effort because it's challenging, FaceTime in to the voting district, right? There should be an app.
I'll,
You take your picture,
I'll be honest.
done.
In this day and age, they could have an app that people could
Have an
vote
app.
on, and they could
They apps.
and they could
100%.
they could secure it using blockchain technology and have it to where basically on blockchain there would be a database of everyone who's eligible to vote, and it would be attached to like a wallet address, like there is with crypto, where you have your encrypted key that is assigned to you, so you can only vote once, nobody else can use it, and it would be 100% transparent, fully auditable, because if it's an open blockchain, anyone could audit it and run like you do like a regular database, and they could see. I mean, it would be instantaneous. The results would be instantaneous, and they could double, triple, quadruple check it to make sure that it's accurate, and we would know like real time.
I'm yeah. I'm 100% for
It's
something
just
like that.
it boggles my mind that has not come up more often, because I'm not the one who's thought of it. All kinds of people have talked about it,
Well, they
but
have. I mean, you can log
anyway,
on and register with the government. It's called Real ID. You register with the government
that's
to
what,
get all your Social Security crap. It should be the same thing. I don't know. Anyway, it's very frustrating.
can you hear it?
No.
Can you hear it?
What are you playing?
I can't hear it. I see
See you.
Trump.
Oh, they went away.
Hey Taylor, is he getting choppy for you too?
I can't hear it at all.
Oh, there you go. Hey, I'm gonna share this. Crypto Breezy sent me a commercial. I guess that he called it the Uniparty uh, ad, but here let me share that real quick.
Can see it, can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear it at all, Michael.
Oh man.
I think everybody else can. Hold on, let me.
That's
'Cause I
funny.
I shared the sound, so let me see. Hey, Ducey, can no sound? All right, cool, thanks, man. Let me try it again.
Now I'm curious. So Uniparty. What's the Uniparty?
It's a Trump propaganda
right.
thing that Michael wants to show us.
Yes, yes. I want to see. How about now?
There we go.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing.
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
All right. Is there a reason we're watching this, Michael?
Yeah, no, Crypto Breezy sent it, and so I figured if he took the time to send it, I'd share it.
Okay.
So yeah, no, it's no, I honestly, I'm glad he did. It's something that I really, because I'm not, Trump is not my first choice. I'll be honest. I would much rather have, like Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Ron Paul, Rand Paul, any of those. I think they would be a better president. But the fact that Trump is smart enough that he recognized and brought RFK and Tulsi and Elon, and now I guess Rand Paul is just like talking about if Elon ends up doing that whole Doge thing, and this is a good segue into each of the platforms of each of the candidates. But Elon, with streamlining government and making it more efficient and things like that. Rand Paul for decades has been trying to shine a spotlight on the budget, and just how government wastes money. And I think it's called a filibuster, where he'll stand up. Usually, I forget exactly when, but he does it every year. Rand started doing it, his son, where he just goes through and just lists out all the crap, like
all the pork.
Yeah, $100 million
Rich to nowhere. Right.
To find out if like sonic booms hurt seals or something like that. It's just like silly ass shit.
Yeah, I'm that part is very appealing to me, right? Finding the waste and the stuff. But what sucks is we act like, well, my biggest issue is every 4 years we forget that the rest of the time, the other 3.5 years, let's say, both sides, both parties, when I meet with them, at least individually, talk about, unless they are absolutely to the point where they have like portraits over their bed of their candidates. You know what people bitch to me about? Congress doesn't never fucking do anything. Nothing ever gets done. Nothing ever changes. Same old, same old. Good enough for government work. This idea that it just, the names change, but the situation, every single, ever since Clinton balanced the budget. Now we saw the massive deficit, but he balanced the budget, right? Every single president, Republican and Democrat, we've gone further up in the wrong direction. Nope. It doesn't, like, I really think if you could somehow strip the internet of political references, except for the definition of a Democrat and Republican, ask ChatGPT to go through the last 50 years and guess which administration was which party, I don't think you can freaking tell. We're in wars all the time. We're spending money we don't have. And so when you ask about policy and the platform, I look at the stuff Trump says, I think it's laughable in his math. And then you look at the stuff, except for the problem is you look at what Harris says, and it's also not, it's not even laughable. It's not even plausible.
Yeah. So
You know what I mean? Like,
here's
it's just frustrating.
Here's my thing that I really have problem. People really are up in kind of like, people seem to care so much about this election, like the whole country hinges on it. I don't know if people don't see this as obvious as it can be. Both people running have already had 4 years.
Exactly.
And they've made the country worse. It ain't going to change. The people don't like Trump coming in isn't going to solve your problems. Like, I know that there's this belief now, oh, he's bringing the right people in now it's going to be different. Maybe, but odds are it's going to be the exact same thing. He's going to spend way too much money. He's going to spend all of his time golfing, and no real problems are going to be solved because it takes more than one person to do this. You have to have a Congress.
Perfect point. Congress has got to agree.
Yeah, and Kamala isn't going to do anything. She can't do anything because you're not voting for Kamala Harris. You're voting for the team behind her, which no one knows who's really pulling the strings. Nobody knows really what their platform is or what they stand for. At least with Trump, I know kind of what they want to do and the direction they want to take the country. And just so I can get my thing out there, I'm voting for Trump and his team because I believe they actually put forward something where I'm personally, my biggest kind of complaint is locally, I see no difference between either party. I think lobbyists run both Trump and Biden, Harris's party. You're going to get the exact same thing. They're going to get what they want. But foreign policy has been very different between the two. And I voted for Biden in the last election. And I feel guilty about it because I have watched what has gone on. I've watched what's gone on in Ukraine. I don't think that would have happened under Trump. And I'm very upset about it because I've watched, one of the most horrific things for me to watch is those, they're Russian or Ukrainian kids being blown up by drones. And I'm sitting there.
Well, that kicked off while I was down in Texas. And I even at first was talking about being retired military, going over there and helping. But very quickly I realized, I was like, you know what? This is a proxy war. Like, Ukraine is being used by the U.S. to hurt Russia without actually attacking Russia. And I'm like,
it's Vietnam all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to be involved.
And
as terrible as it is, I don't want to be involved.
And like for me, it's like I will not vote for their Harris or Biden in any way because of that. Because it was very clear there was a deal made, everything was supposed to be settled, and it was Biden's administration that tore it up and threw it away. And since that time, hundreds of thousands of young men have died unnecessarily. And I don't care about anything else. If that's going to be your administration, how you think it's okay for things like that happen, and like they're doing nothing right now. Like Biden is doing absolutely nothing to resolve that problem. sits
Well, Biden right now is doing absolutely nothing in life.
exactly,
He's just trying not to die.
or anybody in the administration isn't doing anything. Like my thing that just makes my blood boil is like
They're making it
Kamala will be up
worse.
there and be
Like,
like,
everything that they're doing is like escalating the issue. You know, like giving Ukraine, you know, the long range missiles and the satellite links to actually strike inside of Russia, like deep inside Russia. Like, you're just escalating the problem
yeah.
instead of de-escalating the problem.
Now, I don't want, because I don't want this to turn into a pro-Trump talk, because the other side,
No.
and
Like I
most
said,
people that are listening are Trump supporters. So let me go over the things that I'm very concerned about with Trump. The number one thing I'm concerned about with Trump is that after he lost the election last time, he tried to convey this idea that the election was fraudulently stolen from him. Okay. Now I have a problem if let's assume he's truthful. Let's say he's saying the truth. He knows, he has information he has received that Biden really didn't win the election, that it was stolen. He was the acting president of the United States. He could not convey any evidence of this actual alleged fraudulent election anywhere. I mean, he had platform after platform. He has his own platform. He could present all the evidence. Presented no evidence of this actual fraud. But the biggest thing I have to worry about it, if it did happen, why didn't you do? Because he wasn't saying the election was stolen from him after. He started saying it beforehand that it was going to happen. You were the sitting president and for 4 years did nothing about election fraud. And then just complained about it afterwards, to the point of attempting to try to sway people to overturn elections. Like what he did in Georgia, flat out is a crime. Like you can't call up the person and say, find me votes.
Find me 11,000 votes.
I know. Like, I mean, that kind of stuff. So that's my number one problem with Trump. Trump is about Trump.
Yes.
Like this idea that he's this good person that wants to help America. No, he is 100% for him. And he will go above and beyond to the point where he even made a statement about throwing away the Constitution in this situation for him. So
today he said he shouldn't have left.
Yeah.
He said in Pennsylvania, I honestly shouldn't have left. And you're like, dude, you can't say that. That's not how this works.
So it's like, that's my biggest hang up with Trump. Okay. Now, throwing all that out there, and I know that's hard for Trump people to hear because they just want to ignore it like it never really happened. Every time I talk to a Trump person, they're like, well, he was really trying to say this. And I was like, you got to understand when you get into this belief system that you believe in a person, that they're going to save you, that you get blinded by reality of action. You got to look at what they actually do. And my personal belief is Trump really didn't believe the election was stolen from him. He just didn't like the fact he didn't win. And now we have this serious problem because you can't go online right now. There's nobody online right now. Like everybody is pumping out article after article saying how if Trump loses, it's because of election interference. And did we lose Jeff?
No, I'm here. I'm just looking something up. I got to take my phone. Go ahead.
This is a huge problem that
he's putting pants on.
we haven't even had the election yet. But if Trump doesn't win, that means there's election fraud. Like you can't.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm glad. And Crypto Breezy, just said this in the chat, and I'm glad that he did. One of the big things that has given me honestly, me personally, I see nothing that Harris stands for. She hasn't come out, and I've watched all of her rallies and stuff.
Crap, now it's just me. Where the heck am I going to just talk to myself right now? Where's Jeff? Jeff, where are you?
I'm right here. I'm here. Hey, I'm coming back.
Okay, all right.
I just looked something up, guys. Just to put this out there because I think this is important.
Michael, we lost you like right in the middle of you talking of what you're saying.
So what you were going to say, and I want to throw something in here.
Michael, you want to put out what you're going to say because you just went in and out.
There we go.
Okay, go ahead, Michael. We were trying to hold everything on for you. Oh, well, we just lost him again.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go.
Well,
All right.
Finish your point, Michael.
Basically, all I was saying is that I haven't seen anything from Harris that tells me what she's about. Like, what is she going to accomplish if she's elected?
she'll tell you once she figures it out, which she will never
It's
figure out.
well, basically, I mean, every rally that I've watched of hers is just "I'm not Trump." That's really
Right.
it.
Which
And
is super
it's
annoying.
like, okay, we get that, we know, but what are you going to accomplish? Because as a VP, the only job that I remember her getting was when Biden came out and said, "You are the border czar." She was supposed to work on the border. She went to Mexico and I believe Belize or Honduras, and then it was crickets. There was nothing done. And so it's like you couldn't handle that one thing, but we have like World War III potentially brewing with Russia and China, North Korea, Iran, the Middle East, Ukraine, and you're going to handle that, but you couldn't handle the border. That's my concern as a veteran. Like, I don't care, even if Trump said the horrific things that they're saying that he said about veterans. I don't care. I don't want Americans going and dying in wars they don't need to go die in.
So,
And
what
but
about the
that's-
fact there was a border bill that my understanding is that our border agency, I guess I'm not sure who that is, right? But supported, and then Trump and his
blocked,
cronies
talked to
killed it.
people and blocked it. I know, Taylor, you keep up on things better. I mean, I try to keep up on everything, but it seems like you do a better job. Like, what do you know about that border bill that supposedly, all the Republicans is bipartisan, everyone was going to vote for it, and supposedly Trump stepped in and, worked his magic and got them to stop it because he's the one that wants to do it if he gets elected.
Right.
You know anything about that?
That's the basic pitch,
I
supposedly.
have no idea.
Yeah.
No, I don't know anything. And all that kind of stuff, I don't really believe anything. It's like, the
How do you
reason
prove
why
one or the other?
I don't believe any of that stuff is when they want to get, you don't listen to what people say. You listen
Look
to
at
what
what
they
they
do.
Yeah.
And just look at what they did. If they
Well,
really
I just want to. The border was a freaking mess under Trump too, though.
yeah.
We need to
It
fix
was
it
like,
either.
why didn't you do anything then? You didn't do
But
anything.
he was actually trying to take steps. I mean, he was like talking to the Mexican president. He was trying
I mean,
to
he
put
built
up
like the whole wall thing. He built 6 actual miles, which is 6 more miles than we had before. I guess we had 130. We had like over 1,000 miles anyway of some kind of border. But you're like, dude, I just look, and I get your point, right?
Well,
Because
but
it really
he
matters
did
what's
that-
going to happen going
but he-
forward.
But he did that with a Congress that that controls the purse strings that wouldn't give him any budget to do it.
But
Right,
the
it's
point
gonna be the
is,
same
if you're
problem
going to be president and
again.
you can't get things done, it don't
Absolutely.
matter. Why am I electing you? Like if you,
So-
Absolutely. I
And
100% agree.
That is my
100%.
biggest. So his thing about Trump, the January 6th thing, I don't have a problem that he was pissy about it. I don't have a problem that he wanted to save face. I have a problem that he stuck with it so long that so many people don't believe in. I had this conversation the other day with somebody. This is what I just looked up just to make sure. There was actually, now it's up to 86. It was like 62 total cases, but there was like 86 partial, like something called a partial cases. Basically, like certain elements of cases got appealed, not all of it, but like certain parts. So all in, it was like 86 cases. They were 86-0, but 38 of those judges, 38 of them were appointed by Republican presidents, and 13 of them appointed by Trump, and none of them ruled in his favor. So
Yeah.
that's huge. But the other thing that's huge is what pisses me off more, and it's how dumb we are as a freaking populace. I get it. We want everything's hard now. We want someone to solve it, whether it's AI blowing the world up, or Ukraine, or World War III, or illegals flooding across
Aliens.
the border,
Freaking aliens coming down, and,
inflation,
messing with our Navy.
microplastics, whatever. Right? I get it. I want someone to fix it too. The only thing is, I feel like Harris says nothing and makes weird laughs, and Trump. And I'll give him credit for this because he gets people to follow him. But Trump says everything. And what I mean by that is I was literally watching,
Yeah.
I didn't watch the rally, but I was watching clips of like
Yeah.
reporting on the rally. And this lady, OAN or something, she's like, he really is 10 steps ahead of us. He just pledged to fix our infrastructure. He's going to fix our power grids. He's going to fix our roads and bridges that are crumbling. And he's going to build new and better airports. And I'm like, in the same breath, he says we're going to get rid of income tax. Like, how we, like, all it is this. Hey, guys, I'm the best dietitian ever. If you follow my donuts, bacon, cream cheese diet, you'll have a six pack. Like, I want that to be true, but it's not.
Yeah.
That's what I eat. Is
Yeah. It's
So,
not.
so the question is this: at the end of the day, the only thing I think is really in Trump's favor, in my opinion, is his ego is so big that he, I think, may be able to be handled enough to accomplish a few things. Maybe. But then again, this is the guy that doesn't ever concede a loss. So he might just in his own mind think he's the
I'll,
best.
I'll be honest. The reason I want Trump to win is I'm hoping, this is my one thing, is I'm hoping because of his track record last time, that he can de-escalate the Russia-Ukraine situation, that he can de-escalate the Israel, Iran, and fucking all the surrounding freaking countries, de-escalate that, and try, because he's really good at that. He's really good as a businessman, and yes, he's had failed businesses and stuff, but he knows how to engage with them. You see it at his rallies.
And I'll put-
he can meet with these people and he can calm the things down, and hopefully the president after him will be able to fix most of the stuff that really needs to be fixed
Well,
when we're not blown up.
I'll put like the thing I'm most excited about Trump is this time he seems to have very competent people surrounding him. I mean, the fact that he's got Tulsi Gabbard, he's got RFK, he's got
Love Tulsi.
I mean, that is why I'm actually going to go vote for him. Like, I was planning on just not voting. That was going to be my thing. Like, I didn't really care who was going to win this election because I was
It
like,
didn't matter. Yeah.
it didn't matter in my thing. Other than I really dislike foreign policy of Biden's administration, or which Harris is probably going to inherit.
I think she's been running it, honestly.
But the people that Trump this time, I'm hoping this time he's changed the way he's approached it. Before it was just like his family. Like,
Yeah, that was not good in my opinion.
I still remember.
I don't want
Like,
nepotism.
we all thought he was going to lose, and so I was playing basketball, and my buddy went over and he's like looked at the election results, and I'm like, "Why are you even looking at that?" And he goes, "Trump's going to win this." And I'm like, "No way!" And so we all stopped playing basketball, and we go over.
Dude,
and look
I
at
stayed
it.
up to 4 a.m, and my wife thought something was wrong with me. I was laughing my ass off
I
as
know.
it went from Hillary
Well,
because
dude, I was laughing because of Hillary's camp. Because I mean, everyone was partying from the beginning. She was like sure to win, and just like watching the hope and like drain from their face. Like that's what I was laughing about.
I voted as well. I did not vote for Harris. I did not vote for Trump. I'm actually really sad that RFK went to, well, if Trump wins, I'm glad RFK's there. I thought he would be the most material third party candidate we've had since Perot, and then even more so. And I think we really, really desperately need a viable third party in this country to keep people from just going, well, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican, and that's it. That's the end of the conversation.
Yeah,
Because people don't care. They just automatically dismiss everything. If you had a third party, you'd have to have more substantive conversation because you couldn't just poo-poo it. That being said, on my ticket or on my ballot, I voted for Republican, plural. I voted for Democrats, plural, and I voted for Libertarians, plural. Because I tried, and I skipped votes. Oh, now I'm just talking to myself, I think. Can you still hear me, Taylor?
I'm sitting here listening to you. But I'm
All
the
right.
only one that apparently has an actual connection. You two, like,
So I think I wish we had the confidence as a country to do that again, to do that more often, because I feel like people matter at the end of the day. who you vote for, which is why I don't vote for people I don't have some sense of an idea about who they are. But at the same time, if we're not voting for people, we're just voting for platforms. We just need committees. We don't need people to run at all. So I do think and hope that regardless of what happens, I hope it's not contested. I hope whoever wins graciously, whoever loses graciously. And that's probably asking way too fucking much.
Well,
But-
whoever wins needs to win big time, and so there's no question.
Correct. It needs to be a landslide. And my fear is it's not going to be.
I will be honest with you guys. Like, I will be shocked if Harris wins, because you got to look at it like both me and Jeff voted for Biden. And guys like us who.
So you're definitely got gay married last weekend.
Exactly.
We did.
But me and Jeff, we jump.
I'm not talking.
Like, we do not vote party lines at all. We vote Democrat, we vote Republican. We look at the candidate and like, and we vote.
Way.
We go back and forth all the time, and we're both not voting for Harris. And
I would have voted for Tulsi if the Democrats would have given her the time of day last time.
Oh yeah, well everybody
I
would
was planning on voting for Tulsi.
It would have been a landslide victory if it was Tulsi versus Trump. I mean, Tulsi is actually like.
I think had it been any Republican but Trump, it would have been a landslide victory now. However, if the election was in 2023, right after Roe v. Wade was overturned, I think any Democrat would have won. Just depends on the emotions of the populace, right?
Yeah, because white women in America are a problem. They cause all the problems in our life.
Well, because
C90 says Jeff's frozen. C90 says Jeff's frozen like his hopes and dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even see Jeff.
Yeah,
That's
Jeff,
fair.
you gotta restart your phone there.
How do I restart it? It's my freaking phone.
Just
What
go
do I
off
do?
and back on.
Yeah,
All
turn your
right.
camera off, turn it back on.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Do a crotch shot right from.
Hold on. Damn it. What's wrong with
So
this?
this, I mean, this is the polls right now. Supposedly Harris.
Yeah,
is at,
But you got to think like that's the national polls, and Democrats always win the national poll.
Right,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's popular vote.
Popular vote is always going to go. Like if Trump wins the popular vote, that it'll be a landslide victory. But it's there's a reason why we don't do it that way, because then just big populous areas would control whoever's the president every single time. You need
and honestly, that's why. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of that on social media and stuff. Everyone talking about, and it's everyone on the left that they want to, they want to get rid of the electoral college, and it's just like the whole point is, like you just said, Taylor, is the whole country shouldn't be run the way that the people in the city want it run. Otherwise, you end up like freaking Hunger Games. Where
exactly because can you imagine if small areas of this country have no effect on the national election? They get no help. I mean, big
which is
cities
problem
would
since
have all the
they grow all our food.
Yeah, and like you would have a disaster. The electoral college is one of the genius ideas of the whole system, is that you have the balance of power figured out throughout the country. So those people running for president have to focus on these small communities and getting those people to go vote for them. And so it's great.
I'm gonna put that comment up here in a second as soon as it pops up.
I'm curious.
I'm looking back to the comments. I love that. See, Nani goes, "Can't you just trust Cardi B?" That's funny.
I was watching a video where the teleprompters weren't working, and Cardi B was sitting up there just just flopping around trying to figure out what to do or say until somebody brought a phone to her that had the script on it.
I says, I'm curious if Jeff and Taylor have any hope for Pence if he was the front runner. Pence's problem is going to be he'll never get out of a primary now. Because one of our biggest problems, of course, is the primary system, because the people who are going to win the primary, well, The Democrats figured out how to solve their primary problem, which is they have
I didn't have one.
yeah, they just don't really have one. They pick who it's going to be, and that's who the Democrats got to go for. But the problem with the Democrats are finding out is they put up people that nobody cares about. Like you got Hillary, nobody likes Hillary. Now you have Biden, no one liked Biden. Trump has effectively gone against the 3 worst possible candidates the Democrats could have put up: Hillary,
Agreed.
Biden, and Harris. And he's barely beating them. Like he barely beat Hillary, and that was out of luck. That's because people just didn't show up and vote because they thought Hillary was going to win. He lost to Biden, who sat in a bunker and did nothing. And Harris, who's a complete idiot, he's barely beating. Like, Trump is not a good, like, Republicans have a big problem because in order to get through the Republican primary, you got to appease to the lowest denominator of a Republican, and they're usually the guys that show up at all these rallies. They're the ones that, you know, they truly believe in, like, they know everything and this is going to solve all the problems in the world, is their minds. And who are going to win that? Well, the problem you're going to have are going to be guys like Trump, who are very good speaking to guys like that.
Oh, he's much more fun.
Oh, yeah. Like, I love watching Trump. Trump is so entertaining. He's fun. And what I want to try to get across, I don't think Trump, actually, one of my clients, this is the way I'll put it. One of my clients worked for Trump personally for a long time. Was basically one of his top 10 people. And he said, Trump personally is one of the best people you'll meet. If you know him personally, he helps people. He will just go out of his way. He goes, he is the funnest guy. You will go have the greatest time with him. Business-wise, politician Trump he goes, he's like a completely different person. He's one of the worst people you'll ever be around. He goes, I watched him screw people over. He goes, we had this one guy that was building elevators for us, and he was a poor immigrant who had got his business up, and Trump just decided not to pay him and said, he can sue me. And he goes, it was the weirdest thing to watch. He goes, you'd have Trump help this one guy, and then this guy he'd completely screw over. And he goes, it was like you were dealing with 2 completely different people. So I want to get across, like, people go, well, I see this really fun guy, Trump. And it's like, well, yeah, you're seeing personal Trump. Yeah. And that's what I want to kind of get across is the Republicans have a serious problem because when the Democrats figure out we can't just appoint and elect someone to put up because we're going to lose, they're going to start putting up decent candidates. Because let's assume Obama was running right now. I mean, there's probably, if Obama was running, it would be every state would be voting for Obama. It wouldn't even be a close match here. But I digress in the situation.
Well, I think you make a really good point though, Taylor. I think both sides need to do this. I posted on Twitter the other day. I said something like, if by chance Harris wins, she better move so fast, so far to the center that the woke left goes, what? Right? It just goes, what just happened? Because the problem is really this. And people complain about Obama, and I'm not going to talk about his foreign policies, but domestically, if you look back at Obama, he was a really good speaker, but his basic pitches were A, B, C, but on the other hand, X, Y, and Z. And people called him professorial, and they said he was too cerebral. But y'all, all the easy problems have been solved a long time ago. Right? Like, everything we've got is complicated as fuck now. So when you try to have these soundbite solutions, I don't think they don't really end up working in the real world. So I think both Republicans and Democrats need to do some counterintuitive stuff. So if I was a Republican strategist tomorrow, I would reform immigration. I would make it much less expensive, much quicker to have legal immigration. And
I'm glad you bring that up, because that is a very, very important thing, because we want immigration, not just, because we want the best and the brightest to come here, but we do. We need laborers, and we need people that want to start from the ground up. Those people that are willing to do pick fruit in the field so that their kid can go to college and have a better life. And like my grandparents, they came here from Sweden and Ireland, and my grandpa was a bricklayer in Manhattan, and washed windows and did like 2-3 different jobs so that his son and daughter could have a better life. And that's what America is all about.
That's the American dream, right?
dream.
But you're saying something that's very.
But really quick, let me finish. I have a neighbor. His wife is from Thailand, and he has worked tirelessly for like 8 years to finally get her here legally. They're trying to get her son here to help out with a restaurant that they opened, and it's taken almost exactly the same amount of time. Whereas if they just went to Mexico and walked across the border, they'd be getting benefits, they'd be getting like all this stuff for free, and it cost him over like $20,000 and 8 years to get her here legally. The system's broken, and pretty
100%.
much everything in government is that way.
Yeah, I think everybody. It's the weirdest thing in the world because it's almost you talk to everybody on both sides. Everybody on both sides agree, but
You just can't get it to happen at the highest levels.
yeah, at the highest
But,
level.
but here's my cynical point, by the way, before I forget. The reason I said Republicans should do that, yes, I do believe anybody should do that because I think that's what the American dream is about. We need safe, secure borders, but we also should be a place of light and hope to the world. However, the cynical part of me says, living in Texas, you go to ask your average Hispanic family that's here illegally, or maybe they have relatives and friends here illegally. They bust their ass. They work really hard.
Yes.
Right? They're pro-family. They have kids. They're they're pro-life. Like they're a high faith community. So pretty much everything that the Republican social right checks, right? Family, God, country, all that stuff. It's boom, 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 boom. But if I was a Hispanic person that came from Mexico, and let's say I got a green card, but my friends and my family and my cousins were busting their ass just trying to escape shit like MS-13 in the middle of Central America, and you're going to tell me if I vote for you because you believe in the things I believe in, but you're going to kick my family out, you're basically forcing me to vote. If it's between me and my cousin or my best friend or my brother versus my policies, I'm going to vote what's ever going to protect them. So it's really stupid and short-sighted to not fix the immigration problem because you have an entire class of people that are naturally aligned with your politics if you just let them be. If you give them a path.
Yeah, well, but the problem that you have is I don't think a lot of people that are legally here are supporting illegals. I think one, because they compete with jobs a lot of times. If you're an immigrant, usually you are not working unless you came in on like an H1.
They took your jobs.
But like most of these times, these guys they're struggling with because they're competing with on jobs. So it's like you look like in Florida's flipped Republican because the legal immigrants don't like the illegals. They want them out. And they are fed up with border issues like that. And so you have this flip of a situation that has happened. But
there's a big reason why Florida is red as well. And growing up, part of my life in Miami, and my mom is Cuban, and the reason is most older Cubans that remember Castro's rhetoric and when he took over Cuba and stuff like that, they remember the rhetoric that he used as far as that kind of socialist mentality of eat the rich and everyone the labor of the people and all that stuff. And so all of my family votes red on that side because they see what the Democrats are saying right now, and it is verbatim what Castro did.
Yeah.
Scary.
And Venice, and that's the thing is let's get off the immigration issue. Let's move to the next thing.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to just pick
Yeah,
something?
no, yeah. You decide the next topic.
Okay, so I think the best thing to understand is at the end of the day, whatever happens this week, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's going to ultimately win this election. Things are going to go pretty much the same because the president really doesn't decide very much, other than he does have some control over of executive powers. But at the end of the day, it is Congress that will decide most of the things, and Congress has shown to us they really work for the lobbyists. So the bills that are going to come across Trump's desk or Harris'
military-industrial complex, the
Exactly.
Illuminati, BlackRock. It's like,
they're the ones that are going to put the bill in front of Trump or Harris. So freaking out about who wins this election, it really doesn't matter. And the problem is neither one of them, I personally, I believe you're not going to have a very good next 4 years. I
agree. Real quick, I agree. Honestly, no matter who wins, I don't think it's going to matter much. I think we have pain ahead.
But if you're going to vote,
when it comes to all these different things, war, I think there's pain ahead.
Yeah, and so if you're going to vote for Harris, here's my pitch to you to vote for Trump. If you vote Harris in, Trump's going to run again in 4 years, and it's going to be much worse in 4 years. And you're going to have to deal with this.
I'll tell you what, if he can run again as an 83-year-old, just get it over with. Principle.
Just get it over with.
Rip the Band-Aid off. Let Trump have 4 years, and let's just get it. Let's put him in the rearview mirror.
And you don't even like Harris anyway, so you'll get the Democratic Party to reevaluate, maybe put in someone who you really like Bernie Sanders or whoever you really want. Your far leftist person that you're
Nicole just typed in all caps Diddy.
Yeah. So,
okay.
My biggest thing is if you're a Harris supporter,
party like a Diddy party.
or if you're a big Democrat, you should want Trump to win because that's your best thing. You get rid of him, you don't ever have to deal with him again. Plus, you're going to finally get your party to actually fix itself and not keep putting up these horrible candidates.
I absolutely believe if Harris wins, Republican wins in 4 years. And say, yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. I think whoever. Yeah. I don't think it. And then if you're a Trump supporter and Harris wins, you did him he's get a favors happening for him because they're going to really just run the thing into the ground, and it's going to get a lot worse. And so, I think in 4 years you're going to get a good Republican candidate that will come through. Hopefully, Trump will finally go. Okay, I'm 83. I don't need to keep running, but. You never know, but at the end of the day, he's probably going to dodge a bullet if he loses again. Literally, because I don't think it's going to be a good 4 years because there are a lot of serious problems that are not being fixed.
I think Trump is fucking Neo, the way that he's dodging fucking bullets.
Yeah.
But here's what I think. Of course, I guess we don't really know. But what I think is funny about Trump is
real quick, Jeff. I want to point out one thing that bugs me, and it's very quick. Is Harris was polling single digits when she ran for president against Biden. She was polling as the worst VP ever in history as a VP. And then everyone on the left was told, this is your candidate, this is who you're voting for. And now she is the greatest candidate ever. That boggles my mind. And that everyone is that energized about her when she was that unpopular.
I think you're right, though. I think it's either pro-Trump or anti-Trump vote. I don't think there's very many pro-Harris.
Yeah, no one's voting for Harris. Everybody's voting against. Everybody's voting for Harris is voting against Trump. That's why when she talks, she just talks anti-Trump. She has no one there. She has no quality that you go, oh, I really want her to be president of the United States.
Exactly.
You're really just going, I don't want Trump to be president. And that's the dumbest thing in the world. That's
Although I do, based on what Crypto Breezy just said something in the chat, about what are the chances Trump wins, leaves early, gives Vance a chance. I do think Vance is an opportunist. I don't have a problem with him really, but I do think it's funny if you Google what he said about Trump during Trump's administration and what he said after the January 6th, it was pretty brutal. And
Yeah.
so
They're
can't-
all
you
politicians.
can't, I can't, I'm not going to believe that he went from thinking Trump voters are morons to all of a sudden he thinks, which he said, to all of a sudden it's the greatest thing ever. But he is a politician and he's a relatively bright guy. And, he's self serving, but he actually might be. I mean, I wouldn't be too upset if he ended up running for president one day. Or if something happens to Trump, I guess, God forbid. But I mean, even I don't like the man, but I don't want him to get killed. I think it'd be terrible for our country if we had an assassination. I do think that there's a more than decent chance people are ignoring because he is so gregarious and larger than life. The man is really old for the for the stress of the presidency, and his favorite food is McDonald's. He cannot be doing that well. He's gotta be
Jeff.
pumping sludge.
Jeff.
Jeff, have you seen his dance?
It's
Like,
like a porn star.
I'm just saying, I have a friend of mine who's an actuary, and I'm like, okay, just based on age alone, he's like, dude, he'll be lucky to get to the next 4 years. Not that he's going to guaranteed to die or anything, but you got to remember what happened to Biden could happen to Trump, right? It's not like Alzheimer's has a party or a devotion to a side. You know what I mean?
yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, it's not going to be a good outturn because we have too many problems going on, and I don't think either person that's running is going to. Other than I like the people around Trump a lot more. I don't know who is around Harris. I have no idea who actually makes decisions in that party. That's the scary
It's the
part.
lizard people.
And maybe the lizard people are better people running the country. We just don't realize. Huh?
Who
Well,
knows?
I think the lizard people have been running it for the past 4 years. So
Well, the guy that does Bashar, he says that if Harris wins, then the intergalactic community will reveal themselves.
Oh, well, in that case, I should have voted for Harris. I want to see.
Yeah.
I'm
I will say this as kind of my closing thing. I don't think we'll ever see a politician as magnanimous, able to capture the public's either devotion or anathema like Trump. I think the next Republican is going to have a very difficult time filling Trump's
need to
shoes
Google
from
that
a
word.
personality standpoint.
What was that word, Jeff? I need to Google it.
Anathema.
Anathema.
Or the animus, so I mean, because how many people don't have an opinion on Trump, whereas I bet you I could ask 10 people and probably 7 couldn't tell me 2 other people that were in the Republican primaries, maybe 3. You know what I mean? Like they just everybody else is just a boring politician.
I mean, he is entertaining. I love listening to him. Like, just fun. But
Yeah, I'm definitely not. I'm not listening to Cardi B, Eminem, Harrison Ford, or Mark Cuban. Although I am a Mavs fan, and I do
Cardi
listen to
B.
Eminem's records.
There you go. Cardi B, Eminem, Harrison Ford, and Mark Cuban. Yeah, no, it honestly, I'm actually glad that you brought that out, Crypto Breezy. The parade of celebrities that have been like walking across the stage and coming out for Harris has been amusing at best. It's a bunch of them, yes, have been, the ones that have been accused of being at Diddy parties. But I just think it's funny that every rally she has to have some kind of celebrity. And I keep seeing videos, and this could all be right propaganda as well. But like after the celebrity comes on or performs, then there's Jeff. Everyone leaves. It's like these places are packed, and then Beyonce, is done doing whatever she's going to do, and then everyone filters out. It's almost like they're there for the concert. And
Sure.
I just, yeah. So
They're there for the celebrity sightings.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I don't think. Well, who knows? Maybe Diddy will get pardoned, but that's. I think the Diddy thing is going to be bigger than the Epstein thing, potentially. At
Well,
least has
yeah,
a better chance of coming out.
because with at least Epstein, they controlled all the actual information and they didn't ever let it come out. Like we,
Yeah,
See,
who
and
knows?
that bugs me. I mean, honestly, that is something that really bugs me that Trump didn't do and that Biden hasn't done is there hasn't been a single investigation, a single person charged. Nothing has happened with that list. And then now you have this whole Diddy thing where you have like these Hollywood elites and who God knows who else that
well,
were doing all this, whatever crazy trash was going on at those parties.
there,
And
Yeah.
there's a little bit of honesty in me that one of the reasons I kind of really want Trump to win is because I want to believe that he's so angry that he's kind of like, I'm going to burn this shit down. And he's just going to start releasing all that shit. And then we're going to like actually get information because, it's like, I mean, he said he'd release the JFK files and he said he would, like, if he gets in and like, maybe he'll like allow for the UFO stuff to actually come out. Like, I kind of want all these secrets they're hiding from us that I want it out. And I kind of like, I'm voting for him. So if he gets in there and does that, I'm going to be like, a vote well done. That's
Right.
very, very happy with my
the
vote.
thing that I'm hoping for I honestly want to see Elon and Ron Paul get to work. I want to see them streamline government. Just start like he did with Twitter. Just start hacking off the redundancy and the overlap. I want to see government stream. Our government is way too bloated. I mean,
I agree 100%. I understand and empathize, but dude, I'm just such a cynic, man. The reason he could do it for Twitter is he owned Twitter. He doesn't own the government. He can't, I mean, this is gonna get bogged down in every single committee. I bet you he can't cut more than he said 2 trillion. I'd be blown away if you could cut 200 billion.
The thing is though, is I wonder if Ron Paul working with him would be able to accomplish at least something, like slow the growth at least. I mean, maybe not cut, but stop the just never-ending growth. Because I worked in government for 22 years, and I know how it works. They incentivize waste. It's use it or lose it. Anyone that's worked in government has heard that term: use it or lose it. You have, the end of the fiscal year, you have your budget. If you don't use what you were allotted for that fiscal year,
they're going to cut you the next year.
Then you get cut the next year. And so basically what we were told every year is give us your wish list of whatever you wanted. If it was like, optics for your weapons, if it was office chairs, whatever it was, give us your wish list. And then, the what is it? The S3, I've been out for a while, but basically they sit down with the commander and they prioritize. Okay, these guys are going to get this, these guys are going to get this, all the way down. And that's the way all government works. And so it basically incentivizes them to waste money so that they can get the same money next year and actually come back and say, we blew through our money, so we need more next year because we have this operation coming up, or we have this shortfall, whatever. So it's like this constantly growing government that can't grow anymore. I mean, with our deficit, it can't grow anymore. It's like
I follow. There's a hedge fund guy I follow. He's a moderate Republican, or you know what I mean. Like he's voting for Trump, but he's not diehard, but he's very sharp guy. And he said one of the biggest challenges is if Elon actually gets the Doge thing to work, like if it actually makes a significant impact, almost guarantees short term, and it's necessary, puts us into recession because there's so much money the government spends that goes through so many industries that won't be getting paid that they're going to have to downsize.
Yeah.
And then that's layoffs. And then that's the problem is it's sort of when you're a kid, right? You got parents, you got to take, you discipline your kid or it's take your medicine kind of thing, right? the kid doesn't appreciate the discipline. They don't understand why you spanked them because they're about to run across the street as a 3-year-old. But it's because you didn't want to get hit by a car, right? You needed to do that. And the problem is we have been so undisciplined for so long as a nation that when the medicine comes, we all want to feel better. We all want the
Yeah.
6-pack. Nobody wants to go to the gym and eat right.
Yeah, but
And
the
it's
reality
gonna
of
suck.
that argument is it would be very localized because those problems are going to be very centered around areas where there's military bases and where Washington D.C. and New York City. Most of the country won't see any difference because like here in the DFW area, our economy is not based off the federal government at all.
Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. I mean, think about that.
Yeah,
Raytheon is the
like-
biggest employer in McKinney. I mean, you're going to
Yeah.
have a mass if you cut because if you want to make a real dent, you have to cut either Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, or the military. That's 80% of our budget.
Yeah, but still,
Everything else
there-
is 20%.
you're looking at it's the biggest employer, but it's not even 1% of the people who live in McKinney work for Raytheon. Like you're talking about an insignificant amount of people, but in certain areas, it's half the economy.
It'd be like Fort Bragg, like in North Carolina, their whole economy would collapse. Fayetteville, right outside the base, whole economy would collapse.
Washington
Joint
D.C.
base, Fort Lewis, Joint Base, McCord Lewis up in Tacoma. They would continue on, but that is a massive facility with a lot of money that's injected into the economy because of those 2 military bases. They definitely feel it. Then you got Bremerton and Western Washington is just covered with military bases. So yeah, they would definitely feel it. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
So I'm going to take my son to the movies. We're going to see Venom. I'll get going.
All righty.
Yeah, no, I definitely want to close this out. I do want to say one thing is I would like to have an episode coming up. I got a buddy named Hobus, Jeff, and I definitely want Taylor there too. I'd like to have an investment episode and talk about investing and things that, especially with the way the economy is and stuff. Maybe ways people can hedge against like some of the inflation and the issues that are coming up, because there's a lot of people that you can look at the numbers. Credit card debt is at record highs. People are living off credit cards right now. So I think having an episode where we can maybe give some people some tips and tricks on things they can do to pay down those cards, ways that they can try to help their families financially. I think would be a good thing.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. That'd be cool. Let's do it. In crypto, you're right, man. We are in a horrible spot. It is not. There's no easy answers. It sucks.
Crypto Breezy said people wouldn't realize if that did happen. We are so fucked with inflation and rate CPI data. We're in a horrible spot. So Taylor, what do you have in closing thoughts?
I've already said my closing thoughts. I don't have anything else to say.
All right, Jeff.
Oh, I just think that what's funny about this is every time most of the time when I talk to most people and we get past the politics and you get to actual issues, Americans, we're so much more purple than we are red and blue and in a lot of things. And, like I had I think I've told you this before, but I've got a good buddy of mine. He's very, very, he's very strongly Republican, but he's got a little brother that's, little brother's 38 years old with Down syndrome, severe Down syndrome. And, he's quite angry. There's not more resources for his brother. I'm like, well, dude, someone's got to pay for that. He's like, yeah, I know. So when it really comes down to it, I think we have to remember whatever happens this next week, that we're all Americans. And while we have some crazy, we all have crazy cousins out there, so to speak, that most of us probably get along a lot better than we think we would if we just sit down and share a beer. And I'm hoping that nothing stupid happens, because quite frankly, neither one of these yahoos running for president deserve us ripping our country apart.
100%. So I'll just put an exclamation point on what Jeff just said. It's 100%. If you were talking to somebody face to face in the same room, not on social media, and because everyone on social media, they get very, partisan, and, they want to, with the personal attacks, and they just instantly go into attack mode. If you were in the same room, like back in the day, where you had to watch what you said and you actually had to listen to the person, I think that if people would take a breath and pause, they would realize we all want the same things. We all want freedom. We all want liberty. We all want to be able to afford food, buy a house. We want, a future for our kids, things like that. We just disagree on some points on how to get there.
Yes.
And what I would ask is, if everyone out there, anyone that listens to this, if you can just take a breath and think about that before, and I'm guilty of it too. As soon as people start with the personal attacks, and it goes down to that schoolyard, where they just want to basically just be an idiot. I'm just like, what, this conversation's going nowhere. I'm just going to have some fun and just get my pokes in. I do it on Twitter all the time. But if I run into somebody with an opposing view and they're having a logical, fact-based discussion, I really enjoy that, because it's like, what, you're giving me points of view that maybe I didn't think of that, and it's giving me a better understanding of the topic. And so that's all I ask, is just, when you're out there and you're on social media or engaging with somebody, really try to understand the other person's point of view before you respond. Understand what they're trying to say before you respond. And I think that will do a lot more to bring us together as a country. And I'll
Amen.
end on that.
All right, gentlemen, have a wonderful week.
You as well. And thank you, everyone, for coming. C90, FTW, Crypto Breezy. We got Nicole Minestator, KJam, all of you. I appreciate you coming, and hope to see you next time. Take care.
All right. See you, Michael.
See you, Taylor.